Assalamu alaikum everyone. This is going to be a very interesting video. We are going to be talking about my ADC journey. So I usually prepare a little bit, just have like key points written when I make a video, but for this one I have nothing. So this is all that I've got. That's like a little bit of maybe drawing or something one of my kids would have done, but everything that I'll be talking about would be coming from my heart. So, with the ADC exam, I passed my written exam before coming to Australia in 2017. So, 2017 March attempt I took the exam in UAE. Back then, I had applied for my Australian visa, but that got rejected. So I couldn't come to Australia and do the exam here. So I got the exam in UAE and I passed in the first go for the practical, for the written exam. So that's the written exam done, and then I got the visa and everything, and I came to Australia in 2017 April. And then as soon as I landed here, I just started gathering information and starting meeting people and things like that, organizing stuff for the practical exam. Had absolutely no clue, no preparation, nothing. And back then, there was the exam happening in the old pattern. It wasn't this current pattern, so it wasn't in Melbourne. I did it in Gold Coast, and it was again, it was for 2 days, yes, but it was a little bit different. Like back then, we would just have one communication OSCE instead of the five or the six, instead of the six that you have now, not five, sorry. So I just did the, what is it called? Sorry, I'm blank for a second, but no, I'll come back to it. So I did the exam in that old pattern in Griffith Uni on the Gold Coast. And of course, I failed really badly, and I wasn't prepared, of course. And I had I couldn't actually afford to go to any exam preparation centers or anything. And back then, there was actually nothing in the whole of Queensland. So that's where we were living. So I couldn't really go anywhere else. I did a few things on my own, watched some videos and things like that. A few assessments I got done from somebody who had passed the exam, but yeah, I suppose it wasn't enough. And then I did one mock exam before my exam in Melbourne at one of the academies there. But yeah, so the exam was a whole disaster. So that was done. And then I just thought to myself as well that maybe I'm not ready for this exam, and maybe I need to just sit back and sort of like review and see what needs to be done. So I started working as a dental assistant. I did a little bit of teaching as well at a university here, and that was like in their sim labs and things like that, where things that you can do without even passing the practical exam. So like as a demonstrator or as a mentor, you can say. So, meanwhile, I just kept preparing for the exam again. And then I took the exam again in 2000. And so, my first attempt for the practical was in 2018, March, I think. And then the second attempt was in 2019, May or June. So, that's in the new pattern. So, that's in the current pattern, the Melbourne Center. And I did it in Melbourne and I passed everything, and I failed infection control, and I failed the whole exam. So if you fail infection control, you fail the whole exam. So there's no doubt about that. So in the meanwhile, how I prepared was, now many people can't afford to go to the preparation centers or the academies, and that's only for a couple of weeks anyways, and you pay nearly the same amount of money as you would pay for the exam. So the exam is nearly 5 grand anyways. So when I took the exam for the second time, I actually prepared with somebody. So I contacted somebody who had passed the exam, and that too in the first attempt. So she did her practical and her written both in the first go. I literally begged her to help me, and I asked her to mentor me. So she used to come to my place, and I had, of course, my home setup and everything. So we used to sit just next to each other, and she would literally hold my hand, help me with things, clarify things for me, assess my work. And that was kind of like really a one-on-one mentoring that I got from her. I still am in touch with her, and I'm really thankful to her as well. So I got that one-on-one mentoring at the time, and that really really helped me. And then there were a couple of other friends as well. They were preparing for the exams, so we formed a study group, and we used to share our work, assess each other's work, and things like that. But yeah, I would just pay her hourly rate, and then she would come to my place and she would sit next to me and she would assess my work. She would show me the tasks. She would give me like the demos first, and then I would try to just copy that and just keep going with that. So that was the second attempt. And then in June, when I failed in 2019, then I just thought to myself that if I passed everything and I failed infection control, I might just try again. So I tried for the third time in November 2019, and that's the attempt that I passed. A few things that I did meanwhile were I really worked on myself. For example, how to manage my stress during the exam, did some trainings about that as well. Started going to the gym, started working out pretty regularly, because I was getting a lot of back pain, lots of tiredness from sitting for all of those hours to do all the tasks, of course. And then closer to the exam, I started doing some mocks as well. Of course, there were a lot of people who helped. Lots of practicing dentists helped as well, who I was working with as a dental assistant. I used to take my work to them to just get an assessment. Of course, they were not like assessing it from ADC perspective, but still they could tell me if it is a good crown prep or not, for example. Lots of friends helped as well in assessing. We used to do what we call as so the mocks that we used to do, I did for one of my friend, that I just went to her home and I did a mock, and she sort of like was assessing me. So we did like 10-minute timers, and we did the skill doskies and things like that. And I did the same for her when she was preparing as well. So a couple of things like that we did, because I just couldn't afford to go to any of the exam centers to do like 3-4 week comprehensive courses. And so that's another way of doing it. If you are somewhere where you are struggling and for some reason you can't afford to go to an academy, of course if you can go, that's great. So this is an alternative. So if you can't afford to go for some reason, there is this option as well. So even if you wanted to contact me, if you are a group of like 5 or 6 and you want me to come and show you all the tasks and demonstrate everything over the 2 days, that's something that can be looked at as well. So yeah, that was an overview of my journey. So I passed in 2019. I started practicing in 2020. I got the registration in March 2020. That was COVID time, so couldn't find anything straight away. But I started working with like a mobile dental. So we used to go to childcares and schools, and we used to just basically do checkup and cleans and fissure sealants and very basic stuff for children. But that gave me a little bit of sort of like confidence, of course. And then I applied for the second job, where I was working just by myself. So it was a single share practice, but I struggled quite a lot there, but I gained a lot of confidence as well over there. And then now I'm working at another place where we are a couple of dentists. And again, I love working there. Everyone is really helpful. You can always ask your colleagues for a second opinion and run by a case and things like that. So lots of learning still going on, and I'm really glad that I'm making this video and I'm sharing all of this with you guys. And I really hope whoever is listening, I can instill some hope in them, and they can try if they wanted to do this exam. Of course, it's not easy, but again, it's not impossible as well. As long as people are passing, you can pass as well, and there's a chance. So don't lose hope, keep going. And if you're really passionate about dentistry, I would say, just keep growing, keep learning, and best of luck. Thank you.